Dang.
Tell Mims and she'll get on there.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're on this one. The other one didn't work too good. So I'm going to let Mims know. You got to restart, Mom.
But it's not playing yet. I just hit
We got people on.
right, but you're not moving yet, is what I'm saying.
Oh.
Mims is there. She's in here.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello. Hey, baby. You want to come in here and be seen?
Come on.
Can you guys hear us?
Are we here and on stuff?
Yes, now you can.
OneDrive isn't signed in.
Don't worry about that.
Come here.
Oh my order got
Do like a robot. ELYN's even up way past her bedtime, guys. How's everybody doing? Mims's Garden, Mamoni, inside Katie's Kitchen. Hello, Anita Johnson, Duncan 1900, Brenda.
Guys, this shirt might look like red, but it's not red, it's pink.
It's
Two family homestead.
Carol from
I
Fishing
have a hair
Groves.
bow on my hair too, see?
Yep, I gotta put my hair bow in. Hold on.
Yeah.
Guys, hide your eyes. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh. Stop touching it. You're as bad as Mims's Garden. You know that?
But you messed it up, not
No, I
me.
didn't. Bam.
What are you guys doing? Hey, what's up? The Hive and the Homestead.
This is Jingle.
That is Jingles, the one and only Mary Hart.
Jingles. Frank.
Look, Fairy Tale Creations is on there.
Not Frank.
What do you have to do to keep Frank being said? All right, guys.
I don't believe that I did that on live.
On a live.
I can't believe you did that on a live either.
Need to watch this table because it's a shaking. Hey, shh, you can't do that now. Hey, guys, we're at my mom and dad's house going live. This will not, ELYN, hold on. This will not be a super long live. We still have to drive 30 minutes to get on top of the mountain, and I got to clean, so they got a bed to sleep in. So this may be a shaky video, too. Robin's going to come join us. We'll probably get Mama to come in here in a little while. There's a whole lot of man on this screen tonight. So, Mary Cleveland, how are you?
And there's only one girl.
And only one little girl right now. Hey, ELYN, you can talk, but you got to be calmed down.
Hey, Fisher and
Carol.
Huh?
Fishes and Loaves is Carol.
Carol. She is doing great. The drive is a little stressful for her, but she's doing okay with it.
Considerate Joy, how are you? Freedom Using Farm and Arbor, how are you? We are all tired, so I am like going slow, but at least y'all can see us tonight.
That's true.
Hey, Botter said, ELYN, Chris, your best buddy says hi. Hi, Gabe, how are you doing?
Oh, they were asking about you.
Uh-oh, gotta get rid of this. Okay, wait, step back here. It'll go.
When was the
away.
last time that you updated?
A long time ago.
Oh, sweet baby Grace.
It's a new computer.
Yeah, but it could, they set up with it. If you don't do it for so long, they automatically send it to update.
Well, we'll cancel this out in a minute. Hopefully. Can I move this? Guys, we got a big pop-up screen in front of us, so you can see us, but we cannot see us. So, but that's okay. Hey, Robin, everybody says.
Hello, everybody.
You can see ELYN. I could go over here and be like, what up? I can see myself. This is going to be a little unorthodox tonight. Karen, family, there we go. Four Blessings Farm, how are you? So, Mom's here. She might say hi. White picket fence. They can't see you unless you come over here.
Excuse me. Hi. All kinds.
There's Mom. Hey, you got to calm down. ELYN, listen, you got to calm down.
I won't make you laugh. We'll just cut.
Cancel.
You're about as bad as Mims's Garden. You just start pushing things and clicking
Well, it
things.
says cancel or save, so I
And then
cancel.
she's like, make my computer work.
All right, watch hitting the table because we're like shaking them. They're gonna be like, "What are you doing?" Sorry, guys. Yeah, well, all right, guys. So anyway, we're gonna have to get the kid out of here in a minute so we can do this.
So that's your
You're
live
good.
stream.
You're good.
though.
Yes, it is.
Why are you gonna get the kid out of here?
Because she's never on the live stream. Oh, I'm tired. Very tired. Okay. Hey, how's it going, Incense Shop? Nice to see you. We are trying to do this.
Four Blessings Farm.
Before we get, Zeke is in here just laughing and giggling. He loves the name Big Bear.
I got a hat for you, Zeke.
Oh,
I think
Is
Zeke's hat
and-
is green.
is Zeke's hat on the way, or do we mail it when we get home?
Mine were in her boots down.
And she's
off to bed with Cutie Patootie. No, we're not gonna make her go to bed because we got to drive home, so she'll fall asleep then. But she just wants to play silly right now, and that's okay. But it is what it is. So we're gonna divert and deviate a little bit from what the norm is. Jason's gonna read some scripture tonight that wasn't from last week, so we will do what was requested last week on conversation as well as scripture. We will do next week, and then I'll choose somebody new. We've got so many things going on between the two of us from this weekend. We wanted to talk about that because there really wasn't any lives or anything going on other than two families from the Homesteading Life Conference. And the reason for that was a gift and a curse at the same time. If there was one complaint of any type, that would be it, that there was not any cell service really. But it was a gift too, because we got to interact with everybody without worrying about it.
Mark Zimmerberg, or whatever your name is from Facebook. I understand you're buying all those solar powered planes to be able to put the internet up in remote places like Africa. Please start here in Hannibal, Missouri. They need it.
Well, I'm gonna let Jason say his piece about it, but my piece about it was that was one of the finest organized events I've been to of any type, not just a homesteading event.
I mean, if I had to find something to be negative about, and it's nothing that Doug or Stacy can control, it's the internet.
Yeah, that's the only thing I would say.
Yeah.
Because the speakers that were there, including this guy beside me, were top-notch individuals that not only were professionals in their field, but were people that are doing this every single day in the homesteading life. Doug and Stacy are not a joke, guys. That is not a performance. That is not, there's performing in there. There's some arts in there, but they're not performing. That is the way Doug and Stacy live. That is Doug and Stacy, and you all should know that already, but they are through and through. So I'm going to say this real quick. I'm going to do a giveaway at 100, and I may have to run to my car real quick, but it's only like 20 yards away, and I'll be out of breath. That's okay.
And if we could only film him running.
In the dark, outside in the country, where my mom's got stepping stones everywhere, I'll probably come in bleeding. If we get to 100 tonight, I'm going to do a special giveaway, and it will have to do with Baker Creek. So
And Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern time on my live, if we get to 100, we're going to give something away, and it has to deal with Baker Creek, and it's going to be completely different than what this guy's giving away.
and we're going to do a little thing together, and I'll let you know about that in a few minutes, but we'll make them wait.
We'll make them wait.
So, but what we're going to talk about tonight is just what transpired this weekend, our likes, our dislikes, which there's, I don't think really any dislikes. The way that God blessed us this weekend, because we had to have the Lord in this conversation. We're going to talk about maybe pulling my mom over here and letting her talk to you for a second, if she will. We'll let her get on and say, I'm getting the evil eye. I'm getting the,
You're getting the stink eye.
because I know all of you have a million questions
You
to
know
ask.
that look?
Gus Mania, how are you?
You know that
So
look?
I'm sure, hey, let's get her in here now. She's got to come over and get in here. I'm not going to pass it up. So step in here, Mom. Jump here and sit down. Yes, you do. You're beautiful.
You're not
Watch
too
this.
big. I can't
Don't
smack
push.
you.
Okay.
Don't push the
Try
table.
not to push the
So
table.
there's Mama Carolyn,
Hi.
Mama Prevette, Mama Prevette. Jason looks small now.
He's not a big bear anymore.
It was a great getting to meet you in person. Duncan, it was great, and I'm gonna tell you something funny because you will enjoy it and laugh as I say it.
No, she won't.
Yes, she won't.
Hi,
She won't
Granny
laugh.
Karen.
All right, then I won't tell you. You'll laugh.
Could be me.
You walked up. We don't get to see you guys, so we don't get pictures of you and stuff like that. Duncan's got a great stuff, but I wasn't, for some reason, I couldn't picture a picture in my head. Duncan walks up and gives me this big hug. Thank you,
Wait. You couldn't what?
Couldn't picture in this brain.
You couldn't picture a picture?
I couldn't picture a picture. So anyway, she walks up, gives me this giant
How do
hug.
you do that?
I don't know. Let me finish that. All right, ELYN. ELYN, did you take the name Big Bear and give him the name ELYN? Or Frank? So you come and give me this big hug. Jess is standing there. You walk off. I said, Jess, I think that was Duncan 1900. Am I right? And Jess goes, I think it was too, but I can't put a picture. I can't put the face to the picture in my head. So anyway, you walk back. Stop it. So you come back and give us the business card stuff. I'm like, that's why I went, yes, I was right. So anyway, love you. Pleasure meeting you. I cannot talk tonight. I'm glad Jason's here
You're tired.
because he can talk more than anybody. But anyway, so
Hi,
here's
Liz.
Mom. Let's see. Let's ask Mom some questions while she's here for a few minutes, guys.
I
Who's
can't
got a
see it. I
question
have
for
my
Mom?
glasses on.
So I got a question.
Okay. How did Chris come along?
No.
How did I get to be so good looking?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is so not it because I didn't even
Because I look like my
That's
beautiful
not-
mother.
Not it.
Even your mom said this.
No, that's not it.
Hey, Mr. Chris, here's a big word for you. Quit being obsequious.
Obsequious.
So
Tell us like facetious.
tell us Chris's most embarrassing story.
Oh, please, come on. I like these.
We went shopping and left him at home. And
That's embarrassing to you, though.
No, it wasn't embarrassing. He almost burnt the house down.
No, I did
Playing
not.
with matches.
Oh, I thought he was
It didn't
cooking.
happen.
His sister had these plume things like flowers
Never
beside her
happened.
bed, her brand new bed with
Never
brand new covers.
Nope.
And he was playing with matches, caught the plumes on fire. And I knew this because I had just vacuumed the floor and changed the bag in the vacuum.
Didn't happen.
And I come home and the vacuum bag was full and the plumes in the vase that they were in was thrown in the woods behind the house.
I didn't do it.
You didn't even take
And
it deep
to
into the woods. You just threw it
this
behind
I
us.
didn't do it. I didn't do
To
anything.
this day, he swears he didn't do
She
it.
ain't got no pictures.
He
She ain't got
did.
no video. She ain't got no eyewitnesses.
He did
I
it.
didn't do it.
He did it.
What was Chris like compared to the other kids? I was her favorite and still am.
Well,
Deny it. Deny it.
he was a terrible child. He was into everything.
This is a small child. Not a terrible child. I was
He played The Incredible Hulk
Star to prove it.
and went through a plate glass window.
Star to prove it.
Got to the hospital and he tells the doctor, my daddy brought me and he doesn't have any underwear on.
Yep. Because they already knew because his zipper was open.
Yeah, and then he played Spider-Man and flew off the front porch and shattered his arm again. Yeah. Then we went
Hey, you forgot one.
to the hospital 4 times in one day for stitches in his lip.
Because I kept pulling them out because I didn't like the feeling.
Yeah, that was Chris.
But you forgot one. I did cartwheels down 2 flights of stairs in Ohio.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. I stepped on the bottom of a burnt 5-gallon bucket when they were burning
Yes, he did that.
firewood, burning a bunch of brush.
Threw firecrackers in a fire that people went fishing, and he threw firecrackers in the fire, and it blew up on his sister.
Yep, I did that. I did that on purpose.
Yeah. Let's see.
I put a grasshopper about this big in my older sister's bra and snapped it dead.
Yep.
Not in the back either.
So, yeah, he was one of those children.
So if it makes you feel any better, I was the Incredible Hulk also.
Awesome. You got scars? No, you did it as an adult.
No,
It was bad.
no, I got it. I won second place in the parade.
Mm-hmm.
I got $5. I was like 5.
Yeah, but see, the thing is it's all my daddy's fault. because I used to go running through the house and bust through the front screen door, right? And the door didn't have a latch on it, so it'd sling open. Wow. Like, you remember when Incredible Hulk would bust through the front door on the trailer? I do that. My daddy fixed the latch that day.
Yeah.
The door was not opening. Have you ever tried to punch through plexiglass? It usually just makes a jagged hole straight through if you achieve this. I was only like, what, 6 or 7? I achieved it.
Yes.
With a cut. Now look, this scar right now is this long.
Bad youngin', yes, fairy tale.
That long. So imagine that being on ELYN's arm that long already. It's still, that's her whole
And
arm.
he lay
Yeah.
there on the bed and held it together till
While
the
they did it
doctor
all.
sewed it up.
And the funny part is my aunt's Camaro, it was like a 76, 77 Camaro, Daddy. And Daddy was changing the spark plugs in it, and it didn't have 1 or 2 spark plugs, and he still got that car. That car ran to get us to the hospital.
Wow.
How, we don't know, but it did.
Jesus.
But Jesus did it.
Jesus
Jesus
did
did it. But now, how was I as a teenage child?
He was a good teenager.
How was I as a young man?
He was a good young man.
How am I today?
Well.
I knew I could get her to go. I'm single.
He's a good dad.
I'm a
Hey,
what?
ladies out there, he needs a wife.
Hey, they're all work. Hey, all right. So you want?
Look,
Should I
How
tell
can
the
you
story?
turn this
I'm
down?
telling you.
Should I tell the story about Jessica from Baker Street?
Yes,
I mean, you might as well.
absolutely.
Might as well blow your ego up even
I
more.
love it.
I've only had to listen to this story like 7 times on the whole ride.
It made me feel. Hey, I don't blush a whole lot. I mean, truly, truly blush a whole lot. So
You
I
didn't blush then. You went strutting around like a peacock.
blushing, but I had a different color to me.
Yeah, you had all these shiny
Look at that-
colors.
look at
and
that
you was
light.
like,
So we go in and we're doing the final board at the thing, and Doug's
You
asking
had a
questions.
girl crush.
Huh? No. She's totally off base with everything. But anyway, so we go in and they're doing the final
yes,
board
you had a girl crush.
and asking questions.
They were
Oh, the redhead, yes.
What type of wife
Should apply.
Okay,
Mom.
I'm not gonna get into this. Let's see. I'm not gonna get to finish my story.
Someone that loves children. Someone that don't mind living in the mountains.
Someone that can cook.
Somebody.
No, they don't.
No.
No, they don't
Yeah,
have to
they
cook.
have to
You don't
cook.
have to,
Because he fills the house out with smoke.
but
That's
you
okay,
do
I like
have to
smoke
clean.
You have to know how.
That you will
Yeah,
have to do.
I'll do laundry. You have to fold it. I'll do dishes and cook both. But if you have to do the laundry,
But you'll have to open up every window and the
Yeah.
door, fan out all the smoke,
I cook
and call
outside.
the fire department to make sure they don't show up every time he's cooking.
He's eating double
Don't
portions of
open
everything
the
I've
oven
cooked.
door while he's cooking, so he can drop one in.
All right, so back to my story.
Hey, you didn't drop anything in the fire tonight when you were cooking.
I didn't.
Chris
I did.
can cook. Yes,
Because he
can
wasn't
cook.
cooking indoors.
So
Those are cute.
I walk over. They did the board. ELYN goes up and starts picking all the tickets and reading all the raffle numbers off for the winners. So I go up and Doug's doing a video with her doing this, and I'm recording for the losers, for the winners, whoever it was. And I was videotaping, and I walked back because my camera filled up on the SD card. And I walked back to the Baker Creek seat table and was
No
talking to
redheads.
Jessica. Yes, please.
No redhead.
I walked back to the table and I stand back there and I'm standing with Jessica from Baker's Creek and another young lady from Baker's Creek. I think her name was Linda or something. And she says,
Wayne takes redheads.
can I finish this story too, children?
We're talking about
We're talking
Okay.
about
I've heard this story like 1,000 times in
Yes,
the
but
last
they
24
can't
hours.
hear, but they can't hear because you're talking.
I'm whispering.
So anyway, I walk back there and Jessica looks at me and she says, can I say something without embarrassing you and not being taken the wrong way?
Too late.
And I said, sure. And she goes, well, she said, you know, I met you at the shindig. And she said, I thought you were a nice guy. And she said, then we met you here and we did some sponsorship, which you're going to get a little more information in a minute. So, and you're a real nice guy. She said, but you started dancing with your daughter last night on that cruise on the steamboat at dinner. And she said, I'm going to keep saying Linda, me and her friend are both married and very happily so. But we have decided that you're the sexiest man on earth. And I went 5 colors, shades of red, blue, green, and purple. And I didn't know really what to say other than thank you.
And he's been strutting around
I
like
have.
Ever since this
Ever
little
since.
pal.
They don't know what they did.
No.
So, and then they
Wait
asked
a
me,
minute, he's
then they
just
asked me,
intolerable.
then they may ask me to move to Missouri and that they would find me my
They
wife.
would find him a wife.
Yep.
Wow.
They did.
Well, ELYN stays here. You can go.
No.
That's the only way he's going to be able to get away.
My mama might get shot tonight on live. No. So
Sexiest man alive.
the bee lady everywhere. So anyway, it was funny. It was a great story. And if you knew the two of them, that makes it even more funny because they're both very conservative. They're funny as can be, but very conservative type ladies. So for something like that to come out of their mouth was kind of just funny. So anyway, I'm not even reading comments. These guys are. Oh, make comment, Robin, so we can make you a mod.
Sure, he did like 4 times.
Well, here you make her mod. Didn't you know how to do it? Or do you even know? Do you know how to use Do you know how to use YouTube? He doesn't use YouTube.
Okay, everybody stop commenting because he got like a 1980 laptop here.
Slow down. What you need?
Hello, Gig Bear.
There you go. Let's see that wrench. So,
Some guy's in here.
some guy.
Some guy.
Hey, some guy.
Broussard.
Sean Homestead.
Okay.
He was picking on me one time and somebody asked me what I thought about it. I said, oh, he's just some guy. And it kind of stuck.
Wing it with olives, Irish cone. How are you guys? I'm missing a lot of people tonight, guys. It's just the way it works right now. So before we go into what we're going to do tonight, Jason has chosen some scripture that he would like to read for us. We're 30 minutes in already. Let's go ahead and rock that out. And he'll tell you what he's going to read, and we'll rock that out.
I am reading the 2nd chapter in Proverbs where it talks about wisdom. And I figured after the weekend we had with all of the wisdom, tons of wisdom.
Because we are dirt. And if you know what that means.
You want me to read this, you need to stop. My son, if you receive my words and treasure my commands within you, so that you incline your ear to hear wisdom and apply your heart to understanding. Yes, if you cry out for discernment and lift up your voice for understanding. If you seek her as silver and search for her as for hidden treasures, then you will understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God. For the Lord gives wisdom. From his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. He stores up sound wisdom for the upright. He is a shield to those who walk uprightly. He guards the path of justice and preserves the way of his saints. Then you will understand righteousness and justice, equality in every good path. When wisdom enters your heart and knowledge is pleasant to your soul. Discretion will preserve you, understanding will keep you, to deliver you from the way of evil, from the man who speaks perverse things, from those who leave the paths of uprightness, to walk in the way of darkness, who rejoice in doing evil, and delight in the perversity of the wicked, whose ways are crooked, who are deviers in their paths, to deliver you from the immoral woman, from the seductress who flatters with her words, who forsakes the companion of her youth, and forgets the covenant of her God. For her house leads down to death, and her path to the dead. None who go to her return, nor do they regain the paths of life. So you may walk in the way of goodness and keep to the paths of righteousness. For the upright will dwell in the land, and the blameless will remain in it. But the wicked will be cut off from the earth, and the unfaithful will be uprooted from it.
That hits a lot of notes, a lot of keys, and a lot of everything.
Especially with a lot of stuff that we was talking about this weekend.
Well, I'm not even talking this weekend, but choices I've made in my life and the way that things have rolled out in it. It's, I had no clue what he was going to read. None. We didn't discuss it. I walked in the house. I was grilling burgers. I said, Jason, will you do me the honor of picking out some scripture to read tonight? Because all the stuff's at home. You know, I don't have time to get it up. I don't have time to go through it right now where we've been gone. Jason said, absolutely. So for me, is beyond, and all the scripture should be on the day that you're in. But that today for me kind of leads through what's happened this week, but also what's happened throughout my life. So it hits home pretty hard. Why did you choose that and go into that a little bit?
Well, Proverbs is probably it's hard to say, but I think Proverbs is my favorite book out of the Bible. There is so much. I mean, granted, it is Old Testament, and it was written more for the Israelites than it was for the Gentiles. But there is so much wisdom and information in the book of Proverbs that helps you understand and walk with your path. I had a preacher, I forget what pastor it was, told me, I guess I was 15, 16. It was shortly after I got saved. And
Did you spread that from under your beard?
and I was having such a hard time studying the Bible because at that age I didn't grow up in a church. My parents didn't go to church. We didn't talk about the Lord in my parents' house. We didn't, church interfered with football and NASCAR, and so we didn't do any of it. And so when I first got saved, I was trying to read the Bible from the very beginning to the very end, and I was struggling so much. And he basically told me, no, start with the book of Proverbs, and then we'll go from there. And then we went from the book of Proverbs then to the gospel. And it's always been my favorite book. I mean, as you can see, I got all kinds of highlights, different highlights.
What about you, Mom? My mom goes to church quite regularly when her health's threatened her to it. Mom's got some shoulder and knee issues and ankle issues and everything else.
I just like it all.
Mom says, I want it all.
I don't have the faith.
We all want it all. Absolutely. So it's kind of fun to do this with Mom here too, because we've had a separation within this conversation. And since we started doing the YouTube thing, Mom's been able to see a little bit.
Okay. I've seen a whole lot.
Plus, I figured.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But anyway, saw a whole lot of what's going on and where I'm at and the way that I feel, and has offered a means of conversation that a bridge to that conversation to be had to where
Thank you for making my
we can't always do.
And I think, and I may be speaking out of line, but I think with both of us, you and I, we're brother Marines, and we've had to see things and do things that we cannot come back and talk to Mom about. And moms know they can see us, and they know that there's stuff eating at us, and this is through the YouTube thing. Your mom has been able to glimpse and get little glimpses and stuff about it, and she's probably been able to understand things more and start to kind of
we'll lighten it up a little bit. My daddy didn't even think I could have kids until ELYN came around. He looked at Mama and said, I thought Karis got hurt in the Marine Corps, couldn't have babies. Nope. I was just smart enough not to have them at the time.
Always know, even we were just talking about that tonight. when he was in the Marine Corps, he was really sick and in the hospital in ICU in London. And I just knew. I knew there was something wrong.
They wouldn't release any
And they
information
wouldn't
to her.
release any information. So I asked to speak to his commanding officer and said, you tell me or I'll be on the next flight.
Yeah.
You ever want to see high-ranking officers start to really jump through hoops?
Send him on.
Send them on.
After I got hurt, this was after that when I blew out my knee. See how high they jump after the mama calls a congressman?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They do cartwheels, backflips, twists, and through the hoop on fire with acid dripping down and come out without a drop.
You just know
So-
when if you're any kind of mother at all, you know when your child is in trouble
Is ELYN laying down?
in any way.
Is she laying down or did she go play?
I don't know.
No, she's fine. I was just asking. She's fine. So yeah, guys, that hits there. It should be a good foundation for women and building on what you should do and shouldn't do, as well as men to what to look for and what to expect and how we get there. I mean, in so many different ways does it hit this weekend. We started off and I went down knowing after having a conversation with Baker Creek Seeds, you know, the gifts that were coming. And I thought it was a kind of a play on words when, and I'm going to tell you this, guys, I've already mentioned it on the last slide, but Jessica says, I'm going to bring you a truckload of seeds. And that's like me telling Jason, hey, man, I'm going to bring you a truckload of deer meat, you know, and I bring him a nice cooler, big old box of deer meat. Guys, Baker Creek Seeds
Bought a truckload.
brought me a truckload of seeds.
Literally.
I have, now listen to this, guys, because this is going to affect each and every person on here. There's going to be some things that happen. They brought me $30,000 a retail value in seeds to give to you guys and to 2 events that I'm going to do. So when we hit 100 tonight, go share, go pull, go put people in here. I'm going to give a pack of Jer's personal starter kit seeds tonight. I'm going to give away on the live to somebody that's on here right now. I then am going to tell you to go online and look up the Fiddlehead Festival. The Fiddlehead Festival in Unicoi County, Tennessee. And look up the Strawberry Festival in Unicoi County, Tennessee. One will be in April, one will be in May. Both of those will be meetups that we're going to kind of mix in to those 2 festivals. I will have several tables there and tens of thousands of dollars of seeds to give away. So if you want to come meet us, I think Big Bear and their nation are going to try to come up. Hopefully some of you guys from the actual nation are going to try to come up and sit up with us and have just a great time. There'll be great food. The Fiddlehead Festival is literally some of the best fiddle and violin players in the world. And then we eat the fiddleheads, the little squirrely foraging fiddleheads, and they are awesome. You either like them or you don't. I like them. You either like them or you don't.
I've never had any either.
And then the Strawberry Festival is put on by Scott's Farms, and I'm going to get all this information out and do a whole video on it by Scott's Farms in Unicoi, Tennessee. They're a strawberry farm and blueberry farm, but they grow on my mountain. Literally the same mountain that I grow on has this strawberry and blueberry patches that they've been growing since what, Mom? The 50s?
For as long as I can.
Yeah, my mom lived there when she was younger, and they went to school with the boys that run it down. But and it is known for bluegrass music, crafts. Mom sells crafts there every year. So we will get that information out for the exact dates for those. We're going to throw it out. We're going to throw out seeds, and we're going to give away. But they also gave me, just for you guys alone, that's for the festival, for you guys, I have a ton of seeds to give out over the next weeks, months, year.
We have more than seeds to give out.
Yeah, we
Between
have tools and some seeds and stuff and everything else. So what I'm going to say right now is what I'm going to do is in 30 days from today. So the 7th of September, we'll say, that may be 31 days, but the 7th of September, I'm going to draw and I'm going to literally give away enough seed to plant a 1 acre garden. Everything you need: corn, beans, tomatoes, carrots, celery, lettuce, rhubarb, whatever that is. I'm going to set up a complete bag, 50, 60 packs of seeds to plant your whole garden, and probably more, because if you know anything about Baker Creek seeds, and my mom can attest to this because she did it this year, you only have to plant one seed. Not like us normal Appalachian people do. We would plant 2 or 3 seeds, and Mom had to go back through and pull all these good plants out just to give them room to go.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give enough seeds away to one person on the 7th of September to plant their entire garden. Here's the one thing, the things you have to do. You have to go back to my last video that was posted. You have to comment Baker's Creek. You need to go to Baker Creek and comment Single Dad Homestead sent me on Baker Creek's YouTube channel. Then you have to go to this guy's last video and you got to comment the same way. You got to do those 3 things.
Dance off.
No dancing for this one. So you got to comment on my last video. You have to go find it and say Baker Creek. You then have to go to Baker Creek and say Single Dad Homestead sent you. Then you have to go to Big Bear Homestead and you have to comment on his last video. You have to find out which one that is. Video, not lives, and comment Single Dad sent me Baker's Creek. You have to do those 3 things, and I'm gonna put your whole garden out next year. Only thing I won't be able to send is potatoes. Potatoes will be the only thing that I really can't send.
They were asking if you were still at Baker's Creek.
No. Where am I?
No lives.
They're at my
Lives do
house.
not count. So go back on my timeline, look at the video, watch more of them. Hey, and do this for me. I'm not going to require this because I just told you what I wanted. Share my videos, because I just was showing Jason today, and he was saying that he doesn't get it, but YouTube sends me a creator's letter every month in my email, and it tells me what I've done and what's great and what I'm lacking at. And for the entire month of last month, I only had 34 shares. So if you guys will share my videos, that would help me out greatly. I'm not going to make that part of the contest because I didn't say that there a few seconds ago, but share my videos for me. Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, you are amazing, brother. You guys did a wonderful job. We were just talking about, we were going to discuss the good and bad, and there was no bad to discuss.
He was in here.
Were you lurking, Doug?
He's a lurker.
Were
You know what's funny?
lurking in the shadows?
I love
And
their
he's
dance
so,
off.
with him being so tall, it's so hard for him to lurk, but he does such a good job.
I know. I mean, how does somebody like that hide in plain sight?
Now, you want to know something that I had a hard time wrapping my brain around at the Homesteading Life Conference?
What?
I saw Doug without his hat.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
What happened?
I couldn't.
he has no hair.
He has no hair. And I had a hard. I
Doug,
really had a
Doug,
hard time.
let me tell you this though, Doug, because I love you. Listen, I knew you didn't have any hair because I watch your videos. I'm just saying, I'm throwing that out there. I already knew.
Nah, you gonna kick me on anything?
I already knew. I kicked the wheels on the bus go round and round.
See,
round and
I
round.
probably saw it, but I just didn't. It didn't register.
Oh,
You know, just like I think I probably saw him at the Homesteaders of America conference
I think so.
without his hat on.
Well, I'm going to tell you what.
But
I'm
watching him. Wait a minute, watching him go from not having a hat, seeing the bald head, putting it on, and then watching him ride the Harley.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And his beard splits almost perfectly down the middle,
Yeah.
and then wraps up his head as he's going down. That's kind of hard.
Hey, Doug, that's when you know you've reached beard status.
Yeah.
Baby beard,
What is that?
manly beard. Just saying. He'll get there. He'll get there.
What is it? The bus?
Neat.
So,
Neat.
one thing I want to say,
beard, growing stuff in the beard.
hey, you got to have some place to keep your starts. You got to have starts.
So
So,
hair is overrated when you can build your
so
own.
I mean this with the utmost of respect and everything. But the one thing that I will say also is Stacy is more beautiful in person than she is on her videos, and that girl looks like she's 25, 26 years old.
And she was
Doug,
walking around barefoot.
Barefoot.
and
the whole
barefoot
time.
running around playing
In
with
the
those
black
kids.
asphalt.
She was out doing the 25 and 26-year-old parents that were there. She was on fire. She had those kids rocking and rolling, enjoying what they were doing and playing. And I said I wanted to do the Simon Said thing. I didn't get a chance to because the kids were constantly doing something, guys. This event, they had their whole section.
Yeah,
They
that
hired
was
a
oh, that
face
was
painter.
just over the top awesome was the kids section. They with the face painting, and then they had their own tent where they had classes in there. They had
Yeah.
little classes just for kids, and then they played the stuff with the parachute. And then the kids, the homeschool kids, got a certificate that goes into their folder, and they label out the different classes or the different things that they've done and what classes that they cover in. Nobody, no other conference
Does that.
at all.
As
Not even a homeschool conference
Mm.
does
it
that.
was amazing. It was the difference between, and I've not been nearly to as many as there, but the difference between this conference and other conferences that I've been homesteading and other conferences, period, was you had a panel of absolute experts from this guy all the way through to everybody that spoke, Dr. Leo, Doug and Stacy himself. But the bigger draw for me was every individual that was there at the event was absolutely knowledgeable and living the life. There's not a lot of people that I can go hang out with like Doug and Stacy that are doing exactly what I'm doing. I'm living off grid. I'm trying to raise my own food. I'm trying to be as healthy as I can, even though we got caught eating McDonald's like 3 times this weekend and my hands are killing me right now. But that's the stuff that I thrive and I live for, that mom don't understand all the time, but she respects it. But to be able to sit down with somebody and talk in a group of people, me and Doug didn't get to have that big in-depth conversation because he was on fire the whole time.
I didn't see him walk the entire
No,
time. He was always
not at all.
running.
So be able to do that.
Chris was labeled the sexiest man.
So
He met his dad.
I fooled somebody. I get my good looks from my daddy, he said.
Yeah.
That's not what he said. He said they ain't met his
Dad
dad
met his
yet.
Yeah, I know. Yes,
Stick your head
it
over
was.
here.
But it was awesome to go over and meet everybody.
Would you like
We had a couple opportunities, and we won't go into a lot of detail about that, but we had some opportunities to sit down with close friends, Brains, other channels, Reach and Refuge, 180 degrees from average, and to conversate and fellowship and go to church, confront the devil face to face. And that's a story we're going to tell on a different video because you don't want that one tonight. But to see that and know that we drove himself crazy because he couldn't break through.
Nope.
And we got there and we did what we needed to do. We gained knowledge. And those girls are 2 of the best children I've ever met. My dad just said the Big Bear children are 2 of the best children he's ever met. And he could not have made a better statement.
Yes, they are.
That's another thing there. All the kids were running around being kids, but every one of them were respectful. Every one of them engaged people. They didn't run away and hide. They were there. They tried to start their own business. Sorry, not this year. Okay. They tried to start their it's Stacy. Is it Stacy with the check or Doug with the check?
No, it's just that check
That's
is
just the
their
channel.
verified
Oh,
channel.
okay.
What was the question?
So
I'm nosy. Go.
I don't
About
know.
whether or not
But-
they're going to some kind of conference this year.
So go for it.
Go to
So-
the land.
Who, me?
We're getting a coffee order. My dad's making coffee. Y'all better take note of this. My dad's making
And just a
coffee.
little bit of sugar.
Thank you, Pop.
Thank you.
How do you like yours?
So,
So yeah, it's
but we
always
were there. I'm really wanting to try to
Yeah.
always Doug. Gotcha.
I want to talk about the riverboat cruise.
We will.
Oh, that was-
But I was going into the fact of, because I'm trying to get my mom stuck and tied into having to go to the Stivers with me so that some of these fine folks can meet her.
But then you're jumping to a whole different thing.
No, because we're going back to the riverboat. I was
Well,
just
let's
putting her on
talk
the
about
spot
riverboat
because of the
now.
question I had. All right, we're going to talk about a riverboat.
Jeez, Jason.
Hey, whose live is this?
I know, right?
Notice who's in the middle.
I know.
Notice who's trying to hold my mama's hand. Not
Bring your
realize,
mama in close. Me and your mom gonna run the live stream.
not realizing my daddy carries a gun. But he's stuck over here. Okay, Chris and Big Bear, did anyone speak about bees at the conference?
Yes.
Dr. Leo was at the conference. The Hive and the Homestead, if you've not been and saw, go to Doug's channel, go to Off Grid with Doug and Stacy and read, what is the name of that video? Hey, Doug, someone make Doug, well, can't make Doug a moderator. Someone link Doug's video on the bees.
Did you see the new hive?
The horizontal?
The horizontal.
Yes. Awesome. But for me and the 6A6B, which they're even colder than we are, but all the beekeepers around my area said that they're not having success with them.
Tomorrow's
see.
video is the bomb.
Yeah.
Top bar high.
If you
Top bar.
if you guys would have gotten to see how Doug and Stacy, I really look and judge a person on how they treat children and how they interact with children. I think you can truly see a true person when you see that.
So you
This
judge
guy
people?
failed. This guy failed. I judged him right off the bat.
You judge people?
Yes, I do judge people when it comes to.
I'm
I
judging.
weigh and measure, and Doug and Stacy
and you
both
haven't
are
found
weighed and
more
measured great. And you go and you get to meet Doug's children and his grandchildren that were there, and they were awesome. Second shelf, little bitty container, gold, Dad, right in front. Were awesome. Everybody there was awesome, but to see them act, Doug bent down on his knees like I do, got eye to eye with my daughter. My daughter read off and pulled every raffle ticket that was out, read the winning numbers. Doug helped her through her 9s and 6s, which we've been working on really hard. And Mom, just go get it because they're not going to find it.
Yeah.
And
There,
he did that, made a video with her. She was super, super excited. And it was awesome. It was awesome.
Look, Stacy does wonderful with the kids.
That's what she does, yeah.
But a lot of folks don't know Doug is just as good.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Yeah. I mean,
this dog is
it's
taking my.
you take a big burly guy and me, I'm all tattooed up, big burly hefty guy, and I'm not as big as Doug is. You know, Doug's imposing because he's so darn tall.
He's like 8
But
foot tall.
He's like 7'9" lurch kind of guy. I don't know. But you take that, and most people think we scare kids to death, and 9 times out of 10, no, not with the creamer, Daddy. Thank you. They think we scare kids to death, and actually, I think kids love us to death. Well, let him give me.
Tracker's been taking out my feet for like the last 20 minutes.
Thank you, Daddy.
I
I've never
watched.
seen him do that.
I caught Doug a couple of times,
He's fine.
interacting with
He's
children.
funny for a little bit there.
and he was phenomenal.
Yeah. So, Doug, you guys, not only Stacy, but you get thumbs up, brother. I know we don't need to give you
Y'all
those
hush up
praise.
now.
It's one of those things where I enjoyed myself. I got to see Big Bear's class. I got to go in and watch part of one of Stacy's classes
Which was the
on
best part.
fermenting. I do, Doug. I'm not just saying it because he's sitting beside me. I think he drew just as many people as anybody else did, if not more, on his class on trapping. And because everybody, it's the unspoken hero of homesteading is how to control your predators. And everybody wanted to know. People were standing up, gathered around, standing to the side, asking questions like crazy. But every speaker was amazing. Every speaker had people there with interest, and it was awesome.
I have to get better at judging time though, because Stacy
was gonna whoop Jason.
she made me a little nervous. She come by one time and she was like 5 minutes left.
And
then
10 minutes later,
I completely lost track of time because that's a lot of folks were asking questions, and I got done with one, and
Back in 29.
one word,
2020.
Methuselah.
and Stacy looked at me and she was like, "That's your last question." I was like, "Yes, ma'am."
The best part though was when you talked to her later when we were leaving. He wanted to apologize and he said, "I'm really sorry. I lost track of time. And she's like looking at him like, no, really, you were fine. He's like, no, I don't think you understand.
Well, and one of the other things that's just hilarious. But one of the other things that I think makes that event so good is Doug and Stacy are a draw.
Mhm.
That's what people are there. But Doug and Stacy know and understand because they're living the life every single day off-grid homesteading.
Mhm.
They understand that they may be the draw, but the content of what they're providing is what's selling it at the end of the day because they're doing it for the betterment of
the
this community.
That's what he said on one of his
Yes.
videos.
Yeah.
For the humanity and that's what is there, that humanity strength. Baker
Seeds.
Baker Creek Seeds, heirloom seeds.
And
That's
fine,
the thing that
fine.
amazes me about that. What was our rule? What's our rule for our seeds, for them to sponsor us with these seeds, Jason?
That we have to get at least half of it planted.
That's the rule.
When we give it away, we got to do our best to give it away to people that will put it in the dirt.
Yeah, look, Doug and Stacy, they didn't even speak this
yeah.
year.
Yeah.
You spoke, Doug. You spoke through the love that you shared with every individual there, with the ability to have it there. Nobody was suppressed on what they were thinking. I sat with Handyman. We talked on the live on Two Families. We sat there for 30 or 45 minutes. It was funny. We were joking and cutting up with each other about him being a vegan and me eating a big juicy burger. People on the live were telling me not to eat him, but it shows that you can go you can go far left, far right, bridge it in the middle, and come to an understanding that we all love each other. We all want to get to the end place. We just have different ideas about how we get there. Now let's work through it and get it. And if the homesteading community could get together and rule this world, it would be a better place. But that's going to be a long ways off.
And another thing that Doug was doing that hasn't really happened in any of the other ones, he was coming around to all of the vendors.
Oh yeah.
How you doing? You need anything?
Oh yeah, there was
Are
definitely.
you okay?
Mhm.
How's it going for you? How can I help you succeed?
Help me to help you
I
to
mean,
help you
he asked
succeed.
me more than once, are you selling anything? Was it worth you? Basically, was it worth you coming? Kind of thing. And
Yeah.
that's always nice to have somebody that cares about that. So
That was.
So
You knew you were there with a bunch of.
we're at 72. We're almost there to be able to give some seeds away, guys.
You knew you were there.
Share it.
There was a lot of people there, but he did it in a way that it made you feel like you were his number one concern.
But we
You know,
were.
You know
But
what I'm
I
saying?
truly feel that every single individual there
But you know
was
what- you
his,
know what I
yeah,
mean.
yeah.
He
But
made it it wasn't a generic, hey, how you doing? It was more of a personal, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Okay.
I absolutely do. Doug, I got one of the biggest compliments. Well, I got
If you
two.
bring up the sexiest
No,
man-
different compliments. I am the sexiest man in the world, but anyway, I got two very good compliments that you were connected to on both of them. I was walking down to Java, which, by the way, if you're in Hannibal, Missouri, go to Java because they were awesome.
Yeah.
Good food, clean food, good coffee.
Yeah, get
But
the
I was
salad.
walking down, and I can't remember the young lady's name, but she's actually one of your original homestead homies. She actually won one of the baskets when ELYN was doing the raffle with you, and you actually said, "This is one of my original homestead homies." I'm walking down the road. She looks at ELYN because she was running in front of me and says, "She's cuter in person than she is on video. I watch all your videos." Everybody that makes content understands that's a common thing for people to say when they meet you if they happen to know who you are.
Mhm.
This lady then proceeds to rattle off every video that we've done, what we've done, my mom, everything that we had done about it, and gives me this big hug. I give her a big hug. ELYN's running down the street, so I had to get to her. So I didn't get to retain a lot of that information. And then we go in, and she wins this, and Doug says that. And I'm thinking to myself, here's someone that's watching Doug and Stacy, one of the people that have helped me and everyone else creating content and homesteading on both sides of the YouTube side and the homestead side, that's there and watching this. And she's watched every video that I've ever put out. Now, granted, that's not
It's
even
like
a drop in a bucket. It is like 2 when you compare it to a channel like
Like
Big Bear
Big-
Homestead, like
Uh-huh.
Doug and
Doug and
Stacy.
Stacy.
I'm new. I'm a little fish that just happens to be doing well.
No, you ain't a little fish. You ain't a little fish.
But it was a
You're more like the
huge,
whale that swallowed Jonah.
I did, and he's still there.
And he's still there.
But it made me feel really good to have that same
You're in
company.
good company.
Help. And then the second thing, Doug, that was kind of a compliment that you did was at the end of the board. I had talked earlier in the day to Unda
This is the other one.
about-
Tell them, like, every time.
about, we had talked about doing a class at 2020 HOA. Now, this is not in writing. It's not there. It's just me having a conversation about me. So, okay, I'll shut up then. But Doug, you said
You
something to help me
verified
out.
him.
You verified me without knowing you verified me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll shut up then. See,
knew
I
you
don't
did
really,
it all.
I really don't care. But
They might want to
anyway.
use you as a surprise.
Oh, okay. I like being a surprise. But anyway,
So what was the boat story?
oh, boat story.
The riverboat.
Okay, riverboat story. Which one?
Well, I'm not talking about the bad one.
No, we're not talking about that.
I'm talking about
The one where I threw you over?
Kyle! Kyle, Chris, you let that ugly guy sit next to you.
See, amen, hallelujah, praise the Lord, and pass the bread.
I let him come in, swoop into your live stream. I didn't say anything about the ugliest man in the world being in the room.
Sexiest man?
Let it go.
I'll bring you on, brother.
But
It's like yin and yang.
Behave. Behave. Yeah, mom is sitting right next to you.
so lucky mom is sitting right next to me. Because I got a feeling that she treat me like she was one, like I was one of hers, and she would beat me too.
Hey, Mama's judo kicked me in the back of the head.
Whoa,
She's
whoa,
only
whoa,
3'3".
whoa.
You got it.
Did.
Hey, good job, mods.
Thank
Good to
you.
go. So, tell the boat story. I don't know which one you're wanting to lead to. And there's a bunch of them. Here come the hammers, get them.
Sick 'em, boys.
If you need to actually remove them, you can,
got it.
Jason.
Already done.
Let's just go ahead and do that.
Yeah. You got free reign. So start telling your boat story because I don't
story.
know which one it is.
It was just, he just had a good time with it.
Oh, we met some phenomenal new channels, people that are
Yes.
just getting started.
That's always nice.
The ones besides Pioneer. Oh gosh.
When we got in there, the seating was kind of chaotic.
Thanks, Brenda.
And so we were walking around looking for seats. We found a seat. Robin and I got to sit with I don't even think they've made a YouTube video yet, but they are on Instagram. And they are called Needles and Knots. If you're on Instagram, wow. Okay, good.
I must be doing it right.
That's it.
Needles and Knots. If you're on Instagram, hey, go give them a follow. For us, they were literally like a 20-year mirror for Robin and I.
It really was.
He was quick-witted. The husband was quick-witted, and
Yeah, the boat was 2 hours.
But Robin, isn't he see now?
look, there is dementia in my family, but I have told my kids, and I've told my wife that
Trick H, there's another one that was amazing.
I am training myself to become Steven from Braveheart.
They were so funny.
Okay.
And we absolutely had the best time. I mean, the riverboat cruise itself was
It
amazing.
was awesome. Food was good.
And Robin and I thought we were going to miss out, but Doug hooked us up. Appreciate that, brother. Thank you very much. And we got to do that, and words can't describe, at least to me, the experience of the riverboat cruise. You kind of felt like you went back in time a little bit, because they played that era of music somewhat, and you couldn't see the paddles in the paddle boat because they covered that up. and the food was awesome. The poor little skinny guy that was handing out the meat, he looked at me and he was like,
Double portion.
he was like, beef or chicken,
Beef or chicken.
beef or
Yes.
chicken, and then he stopped and I looked at him because I watched other people walk by with both, and he was like, or both. And I'm like, do I have to answer you? And he just put both on
Just
there.
put a little more on there.
Yeah, and I went off my diet on that because
Oh.
the macaroni salad was, it looked good, it smelled good, and I had to have it.
ELYN took one bite and goes, "This is not macaroni."
Unless it has cheese.
we got to sit with from HOA. We got to sit with Roots and Refuge. We got to sit with Baker Creek Crew and Stacy. I didn't even realize it until I watched the video today. Stacy was sitting like literally on the next table, and because I didn't get to speak in a long conversation with Doug or Stacy. Had conversations with them. It was very welcoming, but I didn't want to interfere with them because I was observing. I was watching what was going on. I was looking to see what was there, and Doug and Stacy passed the smell test, the see test, and truly I'm in there doing the job test, and they were rocking and rolling. I've said that all through the night, but it really was.
Another thing that I got out of the riverboat cruise is I will never be able to take my bride on a cruise.
Oh, she got a little belly sickness.
The moment we went up to the
Oh.
top deck, she's like, I gotta get out of here.
I
Well,
did the same.
I'll tell you something else that I learned while we were there. Don't ever go to Trip H's house and try to cause trouble because that boy's bigger than me and Jason put together. And
But
then
the
add a half
nicest
another
guy,
person.
though.
He is a big teddy bear, but by God, his hands are about this big.
But ugly.
Thanks, Trip H. Yeah, everything was awesome.
His wife came.
Ooh. Yes, we won't give away that recipe because I'm big mouth about doing that.
already got
Yeah, well, I got it too. I got it that night. I'll share it with you. if
Yeah,
wants
but then
to.
she came over, and when the way you were cooking, one of the things that she said is like, he is so gonna butcher my recipe.
Not. She also made, Doug, you would even probably have had and enjoyed some of this. She made homemade ice cream. We can't tell you because she's going to do a video, and so is Tasha.
Oh,
So they made homemade ice cream that was very, very good as well. So,
if it was noodles.
hey, she moves
No,
mountains. How
noodles.
you doing,
You
single
had
girl?
rice or potatoes, either
Oh, I
one.
like that.
Yeah, so it
And you
was
know,
awesome.
You could easily turn that into keto too by changing
Using
the
the
rice,
cauliflower.
using the cauliflower.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that would have been that would have been good. Sorry.
Mhm.
Doing it that way. So, Mo Homestead, I hadn't seen you. Sorry. If I'm missing 90% of you, it's because I'm 20 feet away and can't hardly read that screen. I tried to give Mama I am getting old, so what's that make her?
I'm there. I've been
Yep.
there for a while.
We had a great time though. Everything that was going on there, the vendors, the craftsmen, the vocalists, the musicians, everything was top notch.
American Son of Him was there. He was putting on demonstrations.
That was some of the best sourdough. He took Tommy Alderman's
Patty Alderman.
Patty Aldermelon.
Look, Tommy,
You got me saying watermelon by interrupting me.
Tommy Alderman burns water when he tries to boil it.
Well, his beautiful wife's sourdough bread and made sourdough, and you could smell that stuff the entire like for 3 blocks.
There's nothing any better.
No, this was cooked outside in a box.
Yeah, they
With
did
no
it for
fire.
the son of
With
it.
I will own a sun oven.
Wow.
They cooked a frozen 1-pound chicken
Mhm.
with all the vegetables in like 3 hours
3 hours.
with the sun.
With the sun.
Frozen.
And it wasn't like,
It was
And
juicy.
it wasn't dry. It was good.
Wow.
I started hanging
Amazing.
out around that tent more and more as the day
Because
went
you
on.
broke your diet. I understand. I was there too. Hey, how's it going, Ivan? Just the other life.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we got
they're
it.
drivers, right? And he
Yeah,
had
they
that
drive a truck.
drive,
They're
yeah.
truck drivers. He's the Russian guy that,
Yeah.
and his
Yes.
wife that gave
Yeah.
me the camera.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
it was it was good. Tracy
Jason
goes,
would be able to see it from the moon with those glasses.
Who said that?
Kyle.
so
You might need to
But-
adjust the glasses.
well, there was something else
At
that we
least
were
my
talking
feet
about
get wet
earlier
in the
we wanted
shower.
to mention. We're at 78. 78, 72. I would love to see it get to 100. I want to give you all some seeds. Go share this.
Mhm.
We're not going to be on much longer because we got a long ride to go home. So we're gonna give some stuff away.
I could do
79.
Almost wish that conference could be just, when you go to them and you're enjoying it and you know it's impossible, but you almost wish they were a week long.
I couldn't do a week long. I can't talk after 2 days of one.
He can't.
That's one of the reasons
I
why I
just
wish it was a
can't
week
win.
long.
Well, I understand that. I understand. My angelic voice can only be handled so much.
Because like when
The knowledge.
all the knowledge you have, the guys out in the pioneer tent and then the ones inside.
Yeah.
Like I got to dip in and hear Mike, the fit farmer, speak, and he was hitting a little bit close to home, so I left. And he was talking about how he was having a hard time. Well, he wasn't having a hard time. He wanted to figure out how was it that the homesteaders back in the early days of homesteadings, 1700s, 1800s, and you looked in the pictures, they were all like super skinny, and here,
Tapeworm,
no,
bad dental hygiene, and they work their booties off.
that's what it was. And one of the things that he said was that we have become too dependent upon machinery.
Yes.
And I went, oh, I'm so guilty.
Yeah.
And so that I didn't want to hear anymore.
Somebody wants to know the info on the contest that you're doing.
September 7th.
3 rules. Go comment my last video. You have to find it. Comment Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds in the comment. You have to go to Baker Creek and say Single Dad sent you. Then you got to go over and find this guy's last video as of tonight. You got to go find his last video, and you got to comment Single Dad Baker Creek Seed, Heirloom Seed Company. White sugar,
And
white
then share
flour, white salt. Absolutely, Doug. It's the refining of natural product when you go through. If you guys don't know, which most of you guys do, let's just talk about sweeteners. Pure cane sweetener sugar stays in your body for about an hour and a half. White sugar stays in your body for about 3 days. Splenda and all those things stay in your body for 3, 4, 5, and even 6 months. So imagine taking 1 tablespoon of water and putting it in your coffee of these sweeteners and then doing that and it's staying in your body that long. How much did that completely destroy you? And that's just sugar.
Do you know that Splenda's original was supposed to be a pet for pest control? It was supposed to be the bait to kill roaches.
Do you have your mom?
Do we like Mexican food?
We like food.
Yeah.
Is that the answer you were looking for? Because we just like food.
Just look at us.
Now look, my daddy can't boil water. Okay, he's like Tommy Alderman.
Yep.
He can't boil water.
And you.
At all.
No, I can cook. Boy,
When you feel
my mother
Airbnb
is probably one of the best cooks, not just because she's my mama, on the face of this earth. And she's an amazing, amazing baker. And I caught that bug and wanted to do it. So when I retired from the Air Marshal Service, I decided I wanted to go back to culinary school, just to go to culinary school to learn more about cooking. But we love food. My mom does have a mental handicap, and she doesn't like pasta. There's a mental block up here someplace.
I'm in the middle.
No, she won't hit me for that. She was forced to eat pasta in school, and they forced her to eat it, and she cannot eat. She'll eat lasagna every once in a while, but she can't eat pasta, and that it's a shame. It's an absolute shame that she can't. But yeah, and even when you get into your stevias and things of that nature, if you're getting them in the raw form, yeah, they're really good and they work. But when you start getting them, like Doug was talking about, when you're talking about white flours, white sugars, white bleached out salts, and you start looking at that stuff, when you start looking at the production stuff, it goes crazy. It's like if you get real coconut oil, it's amazing for you. It helps with Alzheimer's. It helps with the brain being able to retain information, everything. Avocado oil, there's another one, does the same stuff. But if you go through, she is beautiful. Absolutely.
My allergies
Told you
are
it
killing
would
me
stick.
tonight.
Chris can smoke the crap out of some burgers.
Hey, so the story they're telling is we were cooking burgers and I only could cook 3 at a time. and me and Robin were the ones doing the cooking. So I was grabbing the 3 at a time and throwing them
Into the oven to keep them
throwing them
warm.
into the oven, and I went to throw one in, and it flipped out, and the grease splashed all over the hot coil. So I got it out, but then the smoke filled the house that was
Filled it
Filled it
up.
Poor kids were coming from
Hey,
the other room with
but-
their eyes.
But how many people ate?
Kid-
Everyone.
The kids were coming in going, stop, drop, and roll, stop, drop, and roll.
They were trying to get out of there. So Mims is fighting trolls tonight.
I saw that.
So yeah, I mean, everything that was there was awesome. We did a good job, I think, all the way around of everybody getting along.
You guys
Doug
gotta
and Stacy
explain
did-
these trolls to me.
They're 10-year-old kids causing trouble. They're
It's
Colton
their bedtime.
Parker's
I
past
don't
their bedtime.
understand it.
Yeah, hasn't school started?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you know, the only thing, if Doug's still on here, the only thing that we said that could absolutely need some help, and it has nothing to do with you guys,
Yeah.
is internet. And it was a blessing and a curse because as a creator, it was awesome because we could make videos, but we weren't having to get on and put them on. We kind of got forced not to edit and not to upload stuff. But at the same time, I think it could have hurt a little bit because there was no content coming out to the subscribers to feed their wants and needs. So,
They'll start to come out as everybody gets home, gets them edited, and starts to get them out. Like Roots and Refuge had theirs out late this afternoon.
well, Dad, one regular spice or the one with the kick. One of each. I like kick. Mom likes kick. Dad can't have anything past pepper.
Yeah, black pepper, he won't even eat that.
That's awesome.
And
Sorry.
but you know, the more I know I'm the one who brought it up
I
about no
love
internet
tamales.
out
Sorry.
there. But you know, the more I think about it, because one thing that you didn't see was this the whole time at the conference.
Wow, that's
Peep.
unusual.
People were walking and talking and
Wow.
communicating.
I mean, they were using them, but it didn't consume them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like they were
Yeah.
taking pictures, or they might post something occasionally, but that was,
that's
it.
unusual.
yeah.
All right, guys, I'm going to go, let's go for 20 more minutes, and then
We're going even an hour and a half.
we'll go even hour and a half. Okay, so we're going to go for another, what is that? 15, 16, 18 minutes. So we'll go for another 18 minutes, try to get us to 100, and we'll rock and roll on that stuff. And then we'll get more information out on the contest and stuff as we go. So if you have questions right now, ask away. Be for Mama over here that's jumped in tonight, for myself, for Jason, for Robin, who's standing behind the scenes crushing trolls. Ask away. ELYN is actually still up running around in the back.
Yeah.
If you have a question for her, you can ask.
So while we're waiting on the first question,
Okay.
you gave me permission to do this earlier.
Do it.
I am putting, if you missed the Homesteading Life Conference, I am putting on a hands-on predator control on the homestead class the Thursday before the HOA kicks off. You can go to the Homesteaders of America workshops or hands-on classes and sign up for it. You will learn about every predator that you will come in contact with as a homesteader. You will learn the signs to be able to tell what predator got your chickens or goat or pig or whatever it was that got. And then you'll learn ways to deter them. And you will also learn ways to prevent them from coming after any of your livestock to begin with. And that is the Homesteaders of America. That's the Thursday before. We got plenty of seats available, and because I don't think I put a limit on how many students I would take this year. So sign away.
I'll be there. I'll be there with bells and whistles on,
There's
learning again.
what predator took the heads off my chickens,
But not the rest of it.
But not the rest. Just the head was gone. No, Well, I mean, a possum would do that, but then the possum would eat out the neck and the chest cavity and pull out all the entrails from inside. Same way with a raccoon. Most of the time when you have popped heads, you're either dealing with an owl or a weasel. But the thing is, if you've only got one bird dead, more than likely it was an owl and it got interrupted before
Oh,
it
six
took
chickens in one night.
6 chickens in one night.
That's
You
a
probably
lot.
you probably have a weasel.
Yeah.
Consider it Joy Homestead. Send me an email. I will send you the link to my weasel trap video about weasels on the homestead, and that should put you in the right direction. But a weasel is, I call him the Italian mafia hitman of the predator world. Because, well, see, some assassins, they don't just kill to kill.
You like Colombian necktie.
A weasel will go in there and kill one, but then kill as many of other ones, if not all of your chickens in that same night. And they'll just either pop the heads off, or you won't see any markings of any type of attack whatsoever, because they got their tiny teeth, and they'll just hit them jugs and they'll literally drink the blood to death.
There is Hardneck Farm. There is no such thing as a predator-proof coop, and I got taught that this weekend.
Yep, there's no such thing as a 100% predator-proof chicken coop or chicken run. If anybody, look, I've been doing nuisance wildlife removal for, what, Robin, 20 years? I've been trapping since, to quote my grandfather, since I was old enough to hold on to his boot and not let go. I could not build you a chicken coop that is 100% predator proof 100% of the time. Because if I could, I would be a millionaire.
Now, Consider It Joy, Jason, is the one that I was telling you about that you just said to send you an email.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that's got the patents on the alternative energy stuff and does all the new wind turbine stuff. So you already need to talk to
I already
him
need
anyway.
to talk to him anyway about how he went about getting his patents.
Consider It Joy. You also have about 450 people, and there was only 200 people at this convention that are going to be calling you, because I talked about you several times, brother, and sent people your way so they can learn.
What's up, Mike?
The Handyman from Arizona, that's his channel, is the Handyman, correct? That's the name of his channel. He is going to get a hold of you, and he's doing all off-grid stuff out in Arizona, but he had some questions about the new turbine clutch systems and stuff. So, and you got all that information, so send them to you to get that information.
So,
The Fit Farmer in the house.
Lacey,
Yeah, you
she's
missed
in
that.
here.
Hey, Lacey, how are you? Thank you for sending me my video today. That was awesome. Francine Cooper.
Mike, did you get that link? I sent it to you via I think I invited you via Facebook. I just went ahead and invited you to that Facebook group.
It was awesome.
Who?
Mike, Fit Farmer.
So,
Lacey's the one on, so I hope he's listening.
It said Mike. It said the
It's-
Fit Farmer, Mike.
it's like,
No, never mind. Forget it.
It
I need
said,
the homestead first.
so, but yeah, it was good. Getting Mike Dixon and his family, that was awesome to get to, because they're just right here. They're actually about the same distance from us. So we all need to try to get together.
we need to try to get together.
One of
and
the
just hang
things,
out.
one of the things that you got to realize about where we're at for both of us is homesteading's not as YouTube homesteading is not as popular as Asheville, which is only 45 minutes for me, an hour and 30 minutes for you.
About that.
And they're having potlucks every weekend. They're having all this stuff. I mean, they're getting together in community, not just to get together for YouTube stuff, but they're just getting together in community. And we're so far and few between in this community here that we're having to try to reach out there and touch. And, you know, that's why we went and saw Jason with Sow the Land and had coffee with them. It was a pleasure to meet Mike. Justin Rhodes going to his place. All that good stuff was great. So it was an honor to finally meet you and have a good time. Hi, Chris, Jason, and is that your mom? Yes, that's my mom. That's Miss Carolyn. She's sleepy. We're all sleepy.
My allergies are killing me today.
So, any more questions, guys? You got about 10 minutes.
Did you get somebody's scripture? City
We-
girl.
We are not doing scripture right on this one. This was a kind of deviant from what we were doing. So what we're going to do is next week, we're going to read the scripture from last week and discuss what we were going to this week. So that's what we plan on doing for next week. And then I'll choose someone to do scripture as well as a new subject next week. This one, we wanted to take the opportunity to say thank you to Doug and Stacy to inform you guys on why you weren't seeing all the videos like you normally do. You know, two family went out and spent a lot more money to be able to get up, guys, and to share those lives with you to make it possible. Once again, one of the strings that ties this community together is Two Family Homestead, and they should be rocking out 100K subs easy. But for some reason, we just can't get them over that hump, and they need to get there because they do so much and pass so much knowledge on the YouTube side as well. If you get the picking, there's a lot of homestead knowledge in that brain of those two people too.
Trip H said next year potluck will be the same place and time. Let me know if y'all want cheese stuff or the stuffed peppers.
Stuffed peppers.
Both, please. Hey,
Yes.
let's do stuffed peppers with the cheese stuff
stuff
in them. Yes. Oh, yes.
Yes.
So,
I'm still for tamales.
so what we can
City
do,
Girl
though,
Country Heart, yes, we will be.
so what we can do is we can also, I'll throw the Dutch oven in the car too, and we can do some stuff there too. Even though if we're in a bed and breakfast, we can still show up, start the fire, and cook some stuff pretty easy. That venison barbecue that I did was awesome.
Good.
So it was,
Yes.
and that's like back to make. So it's pretty good. We got about 9 minutes, guys. So ask away if you're gonna ask.
Never make people who like to eat choose.
Please keep my friend Crystal in your prayers. She is going into surgery over the next 20 to 48 hours. Paralyzed from. Oh.
Pants.
Okay, she's naked. My daughter's naked. She'll probably come in here and get on camera in a minute.
She's got shorts on. She
Okay.
walked around here shirtless.
So while we're waiting on the next question, remember my live stream Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, and we get 100 in there, and we're going to be doing a Baker Creek. Yeah. So if somebody else jumped on the internet.
Well, it's okay. We're getting ready to go, guys.
Because he's doing work. He does.
Yeah, hit the live. We'll get some stuff done. We've dropped half.
Yeah.
Hey.
You steadily.
So anyway, guys, we'll say it like this. God bless. Live with what God gives you.
And we're out of here.
And what do you guys do?
Plant smiles, grow giggles, and harvest some love.
Oh, that's a good
Well,
one.
God bless. Little God gives you, and we're out of here.
We're out of here, guys. We love you.
Good night, everybody.
We'll see you soon.
It says end stream.